Tonight, incredible images of damage and danger. Historic flooding creating emergencies from Indianapolis to Noblesville. Roads crumbling under the pressure, rescues of hundreds from their homes, and a rising river that's still posing a threat tonight. We have team coverage this evening as people try to stay safe. Our Ashton Hackman is in the hard-hit area of Ravenswood in Marion County. Samantha Johnson updates the emergency in Hamilton County, and Brandon Schaff shares the new resources, both state and federal, meant to help people recover. But let's start in the Weather Center tonight with Rob, because the risk is not over yet.
No, we've got a lot more flooding that's expected to move downstream. It should ease a bit when it comes to the impacts, but we could see also more rain. I want to show you this. I've been talking about this the last couple of days, where the river gauges are. We have now crested officially at 82nd Street. Now, because this is in the metro area now, I want to get you in close. I know this is a lot of information. A lot of people have been asking what's going to happen at Fall Creek, at Eagle Creek. Let me go through each of those. Fall Creek, you've crested at Fortville, you've crested at Geis, you are recresting at 56th Street. It went up and came back down. Now it's going back up again, but will not be at the same level. Still rising at 16th, but expected to be at moderate flood stage. Eagle Creek, you're cresting here, Zionsville, Traders Point. You're rising south of the reservoir, but not expected to be a concern. Pleasant Run, Pogues Run, Lick Creek expected to be okay. They are now falling. It is the White River that we have the most concern. Crested at 82nd, still rising in Ravenswood, still rising in Broad Ripple. The impacts will be less as it moves to the south, but these are all expected to rise and will not crest until overnight tonight or tomorrow. More details on this coming up in just a few.
All right, yeah, we'll see you then, Rob. Thank you. One of the hardest hit areas today is the north side of Indianapolis. Water overtaking neighborhoods in Ravenswood. Fire crews actually using boats to help get people out. Our Ashton Hackman's been in Ravenswood all day. So, Ashton, have things changed since this morning?
They certainly have. When we started the morning, we were at the end of the street, all the way off in the distance. That is impassable now. And as you can see, many of these yards here in Ravenswood are now prime lakefront property. You have to go to the sky to see how bad this floodwaters are. Before the sun came up, water was already rising through Ravenswood, turning streets into streams, lawns into lakes, and swallowing some cars. For Melanie Dean, the morning started with a warning.
I woke up and I thought, oh, everything's going to be okay. And then everything started saying, get your butt up and look at what's going on.
Then she knew she had to go.
It was up to the middle of my tires, and I knew at that point that I had to get out.
For some neighbors, the water crept up to their homes.
It's surrounded our house. We don't think it's going to get in the house, but we were worried the electricity would be turned off and maybe lose the sump pump.
As the rain picked up, so did the response. Fire crews wading through knee-deep water, bringing in boats to get people out.
I mean, it's scary. Like, if you look at the river and how powerful it is when it's this flooded, I mean, you can get in trouble real fast.
Scary, but nothing new. Neighbors here are used to the floods. The White River surrounds them. When it rises, so does the risk of flooding. But this wasn't just another heavy rain or another flood.
It was right over my knees. And when I walked back 20 minutes later, it was almost to my waist. That's how fast it was coming up.
Melanie Dean has lived here for 41 years. This one, she says, is different. The water rising faster than she's ever seen it.
It has never been this high. It has never been this high in 41 years.
And now there's nothing left to do but wait.
That's all you can do. And pray that the Lord gives me the stamina to get myself through all this.
Waiting to see how much higher it gets and the damage it leaves behind. And thankfully that wait might not be that much longer. We are expecting the crest here shortly into this evening at levels not seen in this part of town for quite some time, numbers that are no surprise to neighbors in this area. Meanwhile, in Hamilton County, we've already had the crest and the water is beginning to subside. That's where Samantha Johnson has been all day. Sam, flash flooding today, still causing impacts though for roads and homeowners.
That's right, Ashton. Right now we are on the Logan Street Bridge, which runs right into downtown Noblesville, where there is a citywide state of emergency tonight. And that's because main thoroughfares throughout the city are closed, including the one right behind me here off the Logan Street Bridge. And this is why. Of course, the White River. You are looking upstream, the pedestrian bridge off in the distance there. You can see the extremely high waters we are still dealing with here in Hamilton County. The good news is, like Ashton mentioned, there was a crest overnight that happened at a record level, 24.6 feet. So floodwaters here finally starting to recede just a little bit, but what you are seeing right now is still above the record flood level, extremely high water. Just downstream today, it was a busy day for Carmel Fire. I want to show you a major water rescue. This was near the Plum Creek neighborhood. This is just north of 116th Street, west of Hazeldale, if you're familiar with this area. This neighborhood sits right along the west banks of the White River. I saw more first responders out there today than I could count, with life jackets and rescue boats. There were ambulances on standby too, and neighbors I talked to say they had never seen anything like this. Thankfully, Tim Griffin with Carmel Fire tells me despite the dozens of people and animals rescued right from their home, no one was hurt.
And I believe we've over 40 people probably at this point, 23 horses. There is a horse farm. Some things I never thought I'd see in my 22 years.
So this is Ghost. I rescued him from the Hamilton County Humane Society, and then Lucy is still in the house and they're looking for her.
This is our grandma's neighborhood.
Yeah?
But luckily she's over there, but it's crazy, it's just flooded.
It's amazing. I can't believe the amount of fire trucks, the rescue guys.
Just coming over here trying to check on my grandpa. Yesterday we came and it was like not even close to the river yet. Very concerned, so I was telling my dad this morning we need to get over here as soon as possible.
Now, I am happy to report tonight, Grandpa did make it out safely. You heard Tim talking about all the horses they rescued too. Close to 24 horses were pulled from the Carmel Equestrian Center. Again, everyone making it out okay. Back here in Noblesville, this is certainly a sight to see, and it's a historic one too. People gathering on the bridges just to get a view and to witness what has happened this week. I do want to remind you though, Noblesville officials are asking you, if you can, stay home until Monday to let crews do the work they need to do while things are starting to recede here. Jenny, this certainly is not the end. This is just the beginning of what's going to be the next steps here in Hamilton County. But good news again, water is starting to recede.
Yeah, that's the relief they need for sure. All right, Sam reporting live in Hamilton County. Thank you. Well, now to what's next. Just a few hours ago, Governor Mike Braun updated the state's response to these storms. He says he spoke with President Trump today about getting a national disaster declaration for Indiana. Our Brandon Schaff is looking into what that means for storm victims. He's live along East 71st Street tonight, where people had to be evacuated today. Brandon?
Jenny, good evening to you. And speaking of those evacuations, we actually are seeing people literally being taken from the neighborhood behind me here in Ravenswood on boats, on canoes, out to the edges here where there is not water on 71st anymore. Let me step out of the shot here so you can see this. This man here who is currently paddling was actually able to just bring somebody safely to shore here, which is a great thing to see. We saw fire crews out here earlier as well with their boats trying to just go through the neighborhood here, which, as you heard from Ashton and saw, you know, this really has turned into what looks like a stream. What used to be the street is now all water. Now, Governor Braun earlier, speaking at the Indiana Department of Homeland Security in downtown Indy, he talked about the relief that'll be coming for all of these Hoosiers that are affected during this weather emergency. We saw the emergency crews here, and of course, those heavy winds in northwest Indiana, the governor speaking about that, and the 4 counties that saw so much heavy rain feeding right into the White River, which is what we're dealing with now with the flooding like this. The governor says that there have been 5 weather-related deaths so far, and he gave credit to different agencies across the state for their all-hands-on-deck effort to help. And as flooding moves through the state, he says that there will be relief.
There are going to be displacements. It's going to impact homes insured, underinsured, and not insured. So those will all be different elements of what we will do as a state. And I just hung up with the president about 15 minutes ago, They're in the process of galvanizing FEMA to do a declaration, which then speeds up that process.
FEMA relief like this, they say this does not need to happen often. Indiana, for our state here, Governor Braun says that this is about as widespread of a weather issue as we have seen in years. And of course, they are certainly hoping that the rain that is forecasted at any point in the future lightens up so that way they can continue to get the relief. And they said that the state resources are fully deployed right now and will continue to be throughout this significant weather event, Jenny.
Oh my goodness, and the images behind you, you can tell this is still going on. People canoeing past the tops of cars. We certainly hope they stay safe and can get their belongings to where they need. All right, Brandon Schaff, live for us tonight. Thank you. Still to come for us, a days-long search ends for a missing teenager who jumped into a flooded river. The heartbreaking discovery in Delaware County.